Last time on the Gold lineage, Zuri Gold took her first flight under the careful guidance of her guardian, Malik, discovering freedom and danger in the clouds. What began as a joyous breakthrough turned into a deadly confrontation when Serena Tide seized the opportunity to strike. Malik bravely protected Zuri, but Serena's dark magic overwhelmed them, sending Zuri plummeting from the sky. In the chaos, the Gold sisters rushed to the rescue, narrowly escaping Serena's grasp. Shaken but unharmed, the family regrouped safely on the ground, vowing to strengthen their defenses. Now, with the eyes of both allies and enemies upon her, Zuri prepares to step into the spotlight at a glittering masquerade ball. Unaware that beneath the masks, danger still lurks, alliances will be tested, and secrets long hidden are poised to erupt into the open. Welcome back to the Gold lineage. The cozy den of the Gold family's safe house was gently illuminated by flickering firelight and soft lamps, revealing maps and books scattered across a rustic coffee table. Outside, cicadas filled the early evening air with their rhythmic song. Zuri stirred awake on the plush rug before the fireplace, wrapped comfortably in a knitted quilt. The comforting aroma of cedar smoke mingled with lingering spices from dinner left half finished. Nearby, Malik sat in an armchair, watchful yet relaxed. Across the room, her sisters Amara and Imani conversed quietly with their mother, Adenike, creating an atmosphere of quiet reprieve, calm but ready for whatever might come next. "How long was I out?" Zuri asked drowsily, stretching slightly. "A few hours," Malik responded gently, a tender smile on his lips. "You earned it." He rose from his chair, kneeling beside her to carefully rearrange the fallen quilt around her shoulders. For a lingering moment, intimacy filled the small space between them. His large, reassuring hand rested lightly on her arm, and their eyes met in the soft glow of the firelight. Zuri saw profound relief and something deeper, something unspoken, flicker in Malik's warm, ember-brown eyes. "Thank you," she whispered softly, "for staying." "Always," Malik promised quietly. Their tender moment was gently broken by the muted ring of Zuri's phone vibrating against the low table. The screen lit up insistently with notifications. Zuri sighed, reaching to pick it up. "Probably Nadine again," she said wearily. "She's been in crisis mode all day, trying to manage the press after, well, everything." Malik offered a wry smile. #ZuriCanFly still trending? She groaned, rolling her eyes. "Don't remind me. I'll have to figure out a statement eventually." Zuri swiped through her numerous messages, dozens of frantic yet loving texts from Nadine, news pings speculating wildly on the mysterious angel sighting from the influencer party, and a concerned message from Aunt Zara urgently asking for updates. "Zuri, you okay over there?" Imani called gently from the dining table, noticing her sister's tension. "I'm fine, Nee," Zuri reassured her, "just catching up." Imani started to rise, but Amara, always the composed eldest, touched her arm lightly and shook her head, silently urging her to give Zuri space. They resumed their hushed plans with Adenike. Zuri rubbed her temples, trying to dispel the lingering unease from her strange dreams. Images of water closing over her, gentle hands guiding her, and a voice urging her to choose. Malik watched her carefully, the firelight emphasizing the concern etched into his strong features. "Bad dreams?" Malik asked softly. "Just strange," she murmured, forcing a small smile. "It's nothing." Reluctant to burden him further, she refocused on her phone. One notification immediately stood out, a direct message from Ocean Eyes. Her heart skipped painfully. "Malik." She began cautiously. He had already noticed her shift in demeanor, moving quickly to sit beside her on the rug, their shoulders brushing. Together, they peered at her screen as Zuri opened the DM with trembling fingers. Kai's smooth voice echoed hauntingly through the message. "I hear you're training. Careful, Golden One. The higher you soar, the more the sea will pull at you." Attached was a grainy video. Zuri's eyes widened as it played, footage from earlier in the day showing her and Malik on the rooftop during flight training. Filmed from afar, the video captured the exact moment she stumbled mid-glide and fell laughing into Malik's protective arms. The camera zoomed intimately onto Zuri's face mid-laugh, highlighting Malik's closeness and the protective warmth in his embrace. Someone had deliberately watched and captured their private moment. Zuri's stomach twisted with dread as Malik cursed softly under his breath, eyes darting to the safe house windows as though Kai might be watching even now. "They spied on us," Malik said, his voice low and angry. "How dare he?" Zuri whispered furiously. Another message immediately appeared, echoing words from the night before. "It always starts with the kiss." Zuri's blood ran cold, recalling the interruption of her near kiss with Malik beneath the moonlight. Her grip tightened dangerously on her phone. "Easy," Malik murmured, placing a gentle, restraining hand over hers. "Breaking your phone won't help." "They have no right," she hissed softly. "Spying on me, on us, using my past, using Kai to rattle me." Her outburst drew the attention of her family. Adeniki stood immediately, her expression concerned. "What is it?" Adeniki asked firmly. Zuri forced herself to breathe, loosening her grip on the device. She shared the video and messages with her mother and sisters, who gathered closely around. An uneasy silence settled over them. "Brazen," Amara said tightly, shaking her head. "Serena's getting bold." "Or Kai is," Imani muttered angrily. "Does he think this is a game?" Zuri couldn't respond, overwhelmed by conflicting emotions, anger at the intrusion, confusion about Kai's true intentions, and the painful sting of old affection now tainted by betrayal. "They want you afraid, doubting yourself," Adeniki said resolutely. "We cannot let them succeed." "They won't," Zuri resolved firmly. She forwarded the messages to Amara's phone, documenting the intrusion, then decisively blocked the Ocean Eyes account. It might not stop Kai from reaching out again, but it felt like reclaiming a fragment of control. Handing the phone to Amara, Zuri stood, determination blazing in her eyes. "If they're upping their games, so will we. I'm done playing defense. I want to draw them out." "Draw them out how?" Imani asked cautiously. "A meeting," Zuri stated firmly. "Face to face with Kai? On our terms." Malik stood instantly, his protective nature bristling. "Zuri, you can't seriously." "I can." Zuri cut him off, gently but firmly. "I'll bait him if I have to. This cryptic back and forth, lurking in shadows. It ends now. I deserve answers." She met Malik's gaze softly, adding, "And I want peace of mind for all of us. No more second guessing." Adenike exchanged a worried glance with Malik, but slowly nodded. "If Kai can be swayed, or at least understood, it might help. But it must be somewhere public to discourage violence, yet under our control." Imani brightened suddenly. "The Masquerade Ball! Zuri's influencer gala tomorrow night. Invite Kai as your +1, sort of." "That ball is a PR move," Zuri said cautiously. "It's live-streamed. Anything magical or dangerous?" Amara interrupted thoughtfully. "Serena would never risk exposure. It would force them to play subtle." Imani grinned, adding excitedly, "And you have an invitation, Zuri. Perfect stage, we'll all be there." "A masquerade," Zuri mused, slowly smiling. "If Kai wants to talk, he'll show." Malik sighed deeply, relenting. "I don't like using you as bait, public or not." "I know," Zuri said softly but firmly. "But it's my choice. I won't be passive anymore." Malik finally nodded resolutely. "Then I'll be right there beside you all night." Adenike quickly added, "I'll strengthen glamour and charm protective amulets. We'll prepare carefully." As the family planned meticulously, Zuri stepped aside, looking thoughtfully at the rising moon. Determination tempered by nerves, she silently vowed, "Kai, no more masks between us. Let's see if this tide will finally turn." Later that night, the safe house settled into a quiet stillness beneath gentle moonlight. The rest of the household had drifted off to sleep, or retreated into private rooms, leaving Zuri alone, seated at the edge of her bed. Still fully dressed, her mind wandered restlessly. She scrolled thoughtfully through her phone gallery, pausing at a cherished old photo, herself and Kai at 13, faces glowing with joy and carnival glitter, arms locked in a carefree embrace of youthful friendship. "Where did that Kai go?" she whispered softly, her voice tinged with melancholy. A gentle knock interrupted her thoughts. She glanced up to see Malik silhouetted in the doorway, his broad frame softened by the subdued glow filtering from the hallway. Even with Adeniki's ward subtly cloaking the full manifestation of his wings, the faint golden aura outlining him hinted at his angelic heritage. Noticing her on the bed, he quickly averted his gaze in respectful modesty. "I wanted to check on you," Malik said quietly, stepping inside and half closing the door behind him, allowing them a measure of privacy. "I'm okay," Zuri assured him with a soft smile. "Just thinking." He moved closer, momentarily hesitating before she patted the space beside her invitingly. "You can sit, you know. I don't bite." Malik crossed the room with graceful, controlled movements and carefully sat next to her, their thighs just barely touching. Zuri's heartbeat quickened, reminded vividly of the intimacy they almost shared the night before, beneath the moonlight. The closeness now ignited a soft blush across her cheeks. The silence lingered comfortably, the distant crackle of the fireplace in the den providing a comforting backdrop. Malik's gaze settled on the photo glowing softly on her phone, prompting him to nod gently towards it. "Is that him?" he asked softly. "Yeah," Zuri sighed, handing the phone to Malik. "We were just kids. He was my best friend back then." Malik studied the photo intently, a hint of a bittersweet smile crossing his lips. "You look happy." "We were," she admitted softly, nostalgia coloring her tone. "That was the Lagos Lagoon Festival. My family brought him along. Serena always kept him on a tight leash. This was one of his few times out." Her voice lowered, sadness edging into her words. 2 months later, he vanished. For years, I thought he was dead. Until last night. Malik's grip tightened subtly on the phone, tension radiating from him. Noticing this, Zuri gently reclaimed the device, their fingers brushing softly, sending a small, electric jolt through her. "I know he might be playing games," Zuri continued quietly, meeting Malik's steady gaze. "I'm not naive. He's tied to Serena, to all of this darkness. But seeing him alive again, it felt like reclaiming a piece of my past, even if he's not that same boy." Malik exhaled softly, wrestling internally between his protective instincts and empathy for her conflicted emotions. "You still care about him," he finally acknowledged gently. "Yes," Zuri whispered, eyes shimmering slightly. "Or at least who he used to be. Or maybe who he could still be without Serena. I can't pretend to fully understand," Malik confessed quietly, his voice rich with sincerity. "But whatever brings you peace, I'll support, even if every instinct screams otherwise." Touched, Zuri placed her hand over Malik's, feeling the rough warmth of his sword-calloused palm. "It means so much that you trust me on this. I know it's not easy." He gently intertwined their fingers, the contact sending another pleasant thrill through her. "There's nothing I wouldn't do for you, Zuri," he murmured deeply. Her breath hitched as his gentle declaration filled the quiet space between them. Zuri felt herself lean instinctively closer, eyes flicking down to his lips. "Malik, about last night when we nearly—" He gently brushed a loose strand of her golden locks behind her ear, silencing her softly. His gaze locked onto hers, vulnerable yet intense. "I remember every heartbeat of it." She closed the remaining gap between them, their lips meeting tenderly, hesitantly at first, then deepening as long-held emotions poured forth. Malik's arms wrapped protectively around her, pulling her gently closer, while her fingers clutched at the linen fabric of his shirt. The kiss blossomed from soft exploration to a heartfelt expression of mutual longing. She tasted a faint hint of spiced tea on his lips, felt his heartbeat race in harmony with her own. When they finally drew apart, both were breathless, foreheads touching intimately. "Zuri," Malik breathed, voice thick with emotion. "I know." she whispered back, smiling softly and kissing him again quickly, sweetly. Malik smiled, a rare, genuine, beautiful expression that transformed his usually guarded face. I've wanted to do that since the moment I met you on that rooftop, Malik confessed with a soft laugh. When I was dazed and yelling at you? Zuri teased gently. Even then, Malik admitted, smiling warmly. They shared quiet laughter, savoring the newfound closeness. Gradually, the sobering reality of tomorrow intruded on their moment. Zuri pulled back enough to meet his eyes seriously. Tomorrow, she reminded him gently, Kai will see us together. Malik sobered slightly, nodding. I know. We'll have to stay focused, she added softly, seeing a flicker of unease cross his face. She cupped his cheek reassuringly, drawing his gaze back to hers. Whatever happens, Malik, I don't regret this. You mean so much to me. He turned his face into her palm, pressing a lingering kiss against it. And you, to me, more than duty could ever dictate. They remained close for a few more precious moments before Malik reluctantly stood. I should let you rest. Tomorrow's important. Zuri smiled warmly. Right. A masquerade won't host itself. He bent to kiss her softly again, lingering briefly. We'll get through tomorrow, he assured her earnestly from the doorway. All of us. Trust that. Good night, Malik, she replied gently. Good night, Zuri. As the door closed softly, Zuri lay back, fingers grazing her lips, heart fluttering with a joyful, nervous energy. Gazing at the moonlit sky, she felt hope, determined that tomorrow would bring truth, clarity, and perhaps, finally, freedom. The next evening, the masquerade ball at the Imperial Hotel's grand ballroom was opulent and buzzing with excitement. A string quartet played a lively Afrobeat-inspired waltz. Attendees in extravagant gowns and suits swirled across the dance floor in intricate masks that ranged from delicate lace to feathered masterpieces. The scene opened on a grand staircase leading down to the ballroom floor. At the top stood Zuri, radiant in a shimmering gold gown that caught the light with every breath. Intricate embroidery traced her curves like sunbeams. Her mask, a filigree of gold and ivory, concealed the upper half of her face, but left her golden brown eyes exposed. Eyes subtly glowing with confidence and magic, suppressed just beneath the surface. At her side was Malik, striking in a tailored midnight blue suit with golden accents that evoked a noble warrior's attire. His mask was simple, black leather edged in gold, covering his brow and nose but revealing his intense gaze. His posture was upright, protective, as he offered Zuri his arm. Behind them a few steps, Amara and Imani descended in coordination. Amara wore a regal burgundy gown, her mask adorned with peacock feathers. Imani was playful in a short ruffled dress of turquoise silk, her mask studded with butterfly motifs. They scanned the crowd sharply, here not just as sisters, but as guardians in their own right. Zuri, over here, looking fabulous. Give us a pose, a photographer called from below. Zuri paused on the staircase, automatically finding her light. She and Malik posed like an A-list couple, her hand lightly on his chest, his arm around her waist. Camera flashes exploded, and attendees murmured appreciatively at the sight. They looked like a fairy tale come to life. See anyone suspicious? Zuri whispered with a smile. Not yet, Malik murmured back, his eyes scanning. Plenty of gawkers. Stay sharp. Imani returned from a quick sweep of the refreshment tables, nudging Zuri with a subtle elbow. No sign of him yet. Plenty of suspicious seafood hors d'oeuvre, though, Imani said, pretending to admire Zuri's gown for onlookers. Keep an eye on those shrimp cocktails. Never know. Serena might shapeshift into a prawn, Zuri replied with a grin. Imani giggled and flitted away to dance dramatically with Amara, keeping up their cover as partygoers. Zuri and Malik mingled, exchanging pleasantries and shallow small talk with familiar influencer faces. At each new conversation, Zuri's eyes flicked around, searching for a flash of sea green hair or a mask with oceanic hints. After what felt like an eternity of polite chatter and 2 dances where Malik expertly guided her through the steps, Guardian training includes waltzing? Combat training masquerade not so different, he joked. Zuri stepped aside to catch her breath at the edge of the dance floor. She fanned herself, scanning the crowd more pointedly. Nothing. Doubt seeped in. What if he doesn't show? Or worse, what if he already did and I missed him? As if in answer, a playful voice sounded behind her, familiar and smooth. Looking for someone? Zuri whirled. A figure stood a few paces away, partially hidden in the shadow of a marble column. The mask was simple, black half-face, the kind given out by the event to those who forgot their own. But the person wearing it, even masked, Kai was unmistakable. Tall, lithe, with tailored ebony tails lined in iridescent teal satin. Peeking out beneath the mask was a towel of dark curls tinted with deep green. And those eyes, though half covered, she felt their ocean blue intensity locked on her. Zuri's heart lurched. For a split second, she was thrown back to that rooftop, the raw mix of anger and longing when she first saw him again. Kai, you came, she said, keeping her voice neutral. He inclined his head, stepping forward into the light. Up close, she noted the details. A subtle pattern on his lapel that resembled scales, a shell-like brooch at his throat. A faint scent of sea breeze and jasmine clung to him. You invited me, didn't you? Kai said softly. She had. After blocking ocean eyes, she'd sent one text from a secure number Amara procured. Masquerade at Imperial Hotel. Come if you want to talk. In peace. He never responded. Until now, I wasn't sure you'd show. And missed the chance to see you all dressed up? Never. His eyes flicked over her in genuine admiration. You look breathtaking, Zuri, he said, his voice lowering. Flattery won't distract me. We need to talk, Kai. Really talk. I know. He offered a hand, palm up. May I have this dance? Zuri hesitated. Malik, across the room, had finally spotted Kai with her. She caught Malik stiffen, his eyes darken. But he stayed put, trusting her lead, though she knew it was taking every fiber of restraint for him not to rush over. This is it. She placed her hand in Kai's. His fingers curled around hers, cool and elegant. He leads her to the dance floor just as a new song begins, a slow, sensual piece with a steady drum undercurrent. Around them, other couples fade into a colorful blur as Zuri focuses on Kai. He slips an arm around her waist. She rests a hand on his shoulder. They begin to sway. At first, it's awkward. Too many emotions roil between them. Who took the video, Kai? Zuri asks quietly, her eyes on his mask. Kai's jaw tenses behind the mask. One of my mother's spies. I confiscated it before worse could be done. And the message, it starts with the kiss? Was that you or Serena? Me, Kai admits, wincing. A poor attempt to warn you. I knew you and Malik were close. My mother was gleeful at the idea of using that against you to make you doubt him. I tried to rattle you first, thinking if you were prepared, she couldn't catch you off guard. So the cryptic texts, the scare tactics, that was you helping? Zuri's anger sparks. Kai dips her in time with the music, which forces a pause in the conversation. When he brings her back up, his face is inches from hers. It sounds worse than it was. Zuri, I'm trying to protect you in my own way, he says, voice pained. Then stop with the games. You owe me honesty. Zuri whispers harshly. Kai's eyes search hers. He nods, resolve forming. Ask me anything. The music shifts again, this time into a soulful ballad. Instinctively, they start moving once more, slower now, almost cradling each other rather than formally dancing. Zuri's eyes search Kai's face behind the mask. If you want to protect me, help me end this feud. Talk to Serena. Make her stop. We don't have to be enemies. You don't know her like I do, Kai says, voice bitter. She believes this is war, Zuri. She won't stop until one of you yields utterly, or is destroyed. I'll never yield to her tyranny, Zuri says, steel in her tone. Kai actually smiles, a sad, admiring curve of lips. That fire, he murmurs softly. My brave Zuri. She stiffens a little at my, and Kai catches himself. Sorry, force of habit. Thinking of you as mine, as my friend. Things were simpler then, Zuri says, flushing. He nods, gaze distant for a moment, then focuses. Listen, I'm walking a knife's edge. If my mother even knew I was here, she'd... He shudders. It doesn't matter. Point is, I'll try to keep her off your back as much as I can, but you need to be careful. She's planning something. Soon. I've heard whispers of a grand ritual, something to do with breaking limits between sea and sky. A ritual? Her brow furrows. We haven't heard anything about that. She's kept it close. Even I'm not fully in the loop. Just stay vigilant. We will. And Kai, if it comes down to a fight, she struggles. Will you be our enemy or our ally? Kai opens his mouth to answer, but suddenly the lights in the ballroom flicker. The air grows cold and still, despite the music continuing. Zuri feels a prickling at the nape of her neck, a familiar warning. Magic. Across the room, Malik's head snaps up, looking toward the entrance. The double doors at the top of the staircase burst open with a sudden gust of wind, making guests yelp and masks flutter. The quartet's sheet music scatters. They falter to a confused stop. A hush falls. There, framed in the doorway, stands Serena Tide. No mask. She didn't need one. Serena was striking, tall, draped in a gown of midnight blue that seemed to move like liquid. Her dark, lustrous skin was marked with patterns of iridescent white like coral. Her hair cascaded in silver locks crowned with pearls, fanning out as if underwater. And her eyes, solid, milky white like a blind oracle's, held terrifying focus. A collective gasp swept the crowd. Many assumed it was an elaborate performance, part of the entertainment perhaps, and they applauded in confusion. But Zuri's blood turned to ice. She's here? Zuri hissed to Kai. Kai looked equally alarmed. Clearly, he hadn't expected his mother to crash the event. Serena glided down the stairs. With each step, the ornamental fountains along the ballroom erupted, water rising unnaturally, swirling like snakes. Guests backed away from the dance floor as frightened murmurs rippled through the crowd. Nadine, ever practical, filmed with wide eyes, likely assuming it was some elaborate PR stunt. Forgive the intrusion, ladies and gentlemen, Serena's smooth voice carried effortlessly through the hall. Her gaze swept the room and landed unerringly on Zuri. But I'm here to claim what's mine. Before Zuri could react, water from the fountains coalesced into tendrils and struck fast. One wrapped around Zuri's ankle, yanking her off her feet. She cried out as she hit the marble floor, dragged across it toward Serena. Zuri! Malik roared. He sprinted across the room instantly, wings bursting forth in a golden blaze from his back, shredding his suit jacket. Gasps turned into screams as an angel charged through the crowd. But Malik saw only Zuri. With a downward slash, he conjured a glowing blade and severed the water tether in a flash of light. Zuri scrambled up, ripping the cumbersome hem of her gown for mobility. Kai appeared beside her, oceanic magic swirling in his palms as he faced down his mother. "Mother, stop!" he shouted. Serena, icily amused, said, "So it's true. The little prince has switched sides." She extended a hand and clenched her fist. Kai choked, collapsing to one knee as an unseen force gripped him. Serena's powerful magic forced him to drop his defense, his breath stolen. "Kai!" Zuri cried, horrified. Power surged within her. Fury ignited golden markings beneath her skin. With a rip, her wings burst free from Adeniki's glamour, radiant ebony to gold feathers unfurling behind her. The crowd erupted, some in awe, most in terror. People stampeded for the exits, the live stream forgot in chaos. Imani and Amara worked swiftly to herd civilians. Imani sprouted bright butterfly-like wings to corral guests to an exit, while Amara's glowing hands shielded others from flying debris. Adenike stood boldly at the center, chanting in Yoruba, countering Serena's spell. Zuri launched herself into the air with a powerful flap, diving at Serena. Serena released Kai, just in time to conjure a shield of swirling water. Zuri's fists slammed into it, sending shockwaves of steam outward as golden energy clashed with oceanic force. "You have no idea the forces you toy with, child," Serena said through the haze. "And you have no idea what I'm capable of," Zuri snarled back. For a heartbeat, uncertainty flickered across Serena's face, then her resolve hardened. She whipped her arms outward and shattered the ballroom's grand chandeliers. Water tendrils lashed at them, glass raining down. Behind her, Serena shaped the deluge into a monstrous form, a hydra of water snakes, each head snapping and poised to strike. Malik reached Zuri's side, sword of light in hand, wings flare protectively. His eyes flicked to Serena, then Zuri. "Formation A?" he asked urgently. Zuri nodded. Back to back they stood, Guardian and Gold Scion. The Hydra head struck. Malik sliced one clean through, evaporating it with his blade. Zuri blasted another with golden energy, dispersing it into mist. "Parlor tricks," Serena sneered. She raised both hands high. Every bit of water in the room, punch bowls, spilled drinks, even moisture from the air, converged above in a massive rotating sphere. Lightning cracked outside as she summoned a storm inward. Across the room, Adenike shouted, "Zuri, down!" Zuri grabbed Malik's arm and yanked him to the floor just as the sphere exploded into a horizontal cyclone. The blast shattered windows, flipped tables, and drenched everything in a torrential wave. Soaked and coughing, Zuri shielded herself with a golden bubble in the last second. Malik's arm bled from flying glass, but he barely noticed. Through the haze, Serena advanced, untouched and furious, spell-gathering. But before she could unleash it, Kai tackled her from behind, magic sparking in desperation. "Run, Zuri!" he shouted hoarsely. "Take your family and go!" "You dare, boy!" Serena roared, flinging Kai into a pillar with a blast of water. Zuri screamed in alarm, but his distraction had worked. Adenike and Amara reached Zuri and Malik. "We need to retreat." "Now," Adenike urged, touching Zuri's shoulder. "But Kai," Zuri protested. "We can't fight her full strength, not here," Amara said. "We'll regroup." Imani joined them, pale but determined. "Civilians are clear. It's just us and her." As if summoned, Serena's voice echoed with dark magic. "Leaving so soon? I thought we were just beginning." She hurled a hardened water spear. Malik deflected it with his blade. It ricocheted, smashing a gilded mirror. Serena advanced, deadly grace intent on trapping them. Zuri's eyes locked onto a gaping hole where tall windows once stood. Beyond it, stormy night, the outdoor infinity pool, and the Lago skyline. "There," she pointed. "We fly out." "I can carry 2 max," Malik said, gritting his teeth. "I can manage myself." "Don't worry," said Adenike. "Take Zuri and Imani," Amara said. "I'll follow with Mother." Chains of water slithered toward them. But Kai, bloody and battered, thrust his arms outward, erecting a wall of sea-green light between Serena and the Golds. Serena snarled at her son and launched furious strikes. It was clear he couldn't hold her long. "Go," Malik shouted. He grabbed Imani with one arm and wrapped the other around Zuri. With a powerful leap and flap, he launched toward the shattered window. Glass crunched beneath them. Zuri added her wings to the effort. lightening the burden. They burst into the stormy sky, rain pelting their faces. Imani clung to Malik, eyes squeezed shut. Amara soared behind them, silver-white wings carrying Adeniki. Serena's scream echoed from the ballroom, a tendril of water lashing from the window, narrowly missing. Hovering above the pool, Zuri turned. She saw Kai at the window ledge. Their eyes met. "Kai, come with us," she cried. He shook his head, agony etched across his face. He mouthed, "I can't," before dodging a blast of magic. "Kai," she sobbed. "Zuri, we have to go," Malik urged. Tears streamed as Zuri allowed Malik to pull her away. Behind them, Amara and Adeniki banked south, toward the cover of night beyond neon lights. Zuri's wings beat numbly. Her heart was heavy. "We got our answers tonight," her thoughts echoed. A glimpse of truth behind the masks. But the cost? Kai was left behind. Their secret was out. The war they tried to avoid had begun. "There's no going back." Sirens wailed below. Phone cameras surely captured the chaos, but right now, survival was all that mattered. Serena wanted spectacle. "Fine, I'm done hiding. Let the world see me as I am." Lightning forked behind the fleeing lineage. The camera lingered on the flooded ballroom. Then, cut to black. In the darkness, aglow. Ocean blue eyes opened slowly. Kai lay on wet marble, gasping. Footsteps approached. "Serena." "You disappoint me, child," she whispered. "Perhaps a lesson is in order." Water surged. Kai's breath caught. Cut to the safe house veranda. Zuri and family landed, soaked and shaken. Adeniki's phone rang. "Nadine." "Zuri, what the hell was that? Are you okay? People are saying you have wings?" Zuri exchanged a knowing look with her sisters and Malik. "Nadine, I'll explain everything. Just give me time." Before Nadine could respond, Amara gasped, pointing skyward. "Look." Everyone turned. Above, the moon shone unnaturally bright. A serpent-like shadow slithered across it. A low thunder rumbled, not from the sky, but from something ancient in the deep. Zuri stepped outside. Rain washed glitter and blood from her face. Malik wrapped his arms around her. "It's not over," she said. "She's just getting started." "And so are we," Adeniki replied. And so the masks are off, the truth is unraveling, and the battle lines are drawn. Zuri's wings are no longer a secret. Kai's allegiance has fractured. And Serena Tide? She's only just begun to reveal her depths. But the golds are rising. One ballroom may have crumbled, but the spirit of resistance still burns, brighter than ever. Join us next time on the Gold Lineage, where loyalty will be tested, magic will awaken in unexpected places, and the tides of fate will pull everyone toward what comes next. Until then, stay radiant.